Hello everyone, I want to take just a moment here to try and clarify what we mean when we talk about the triangular trade. Now, this was a colonial era trade network that tied together the mainland colonies, specifically New England, to Africa and the West Indies. And to try and make sense of this, maybe we should start in the West Indies. These are the West Indies. Today we call them the Caribbean. This is the islands in the Caribbean Sea south of Florida. And the reason the West Indies were so important during the colonial era was because they produced sugar. Specifically, enslaved Africans were forced to grow sugar, and sugar was incredibly valuable. And the West Indian sugar planters, the slave masters, whether they were French, English, Dutch, or Spanish, grew incredibly wealthy. We should also note that one of the byproducts of sugar production is something called molasses. So what you need to know here is that both sugar and increasing amounts of molasses were shipped from the West Indies up to the mainland American colonies, specifically the New England colonies. Now, you might be wondering, molasses? Why are we talking about molasses? What's the big deal? My grandma uses molasses to bake cookies. Whoopee. Well, it is a big deal because the New Englanders did not use molasses to bake cookies. They used it to make rum, a powerful alcoholic beverage that you may have heard of. Okay, you may ask, so what did colonial Americans do with this rum that they produced? And by the way, by 1775, rum production was the most important industry in colonial New England. So what did they do with all this rum they were producing? They didn't drink it themselves. They sold it to Africa in exchange for what? Human beings. They exchanged the rum for slaves. And these enslaved human beings who were bought with rum were then shipped across the Atlantic Ocean to the West Indies, where they were forced to, you guessed it, grow more sugar, create more molasses, which was then shipped to New England, where they created more rum to buy more human beings to send more slaves to the West Indies. And that, my friends, is the triangular trade and why it was important.